Welcome back to TPS. Throughout the past decade, football fans were treated to some loaded quarterback draft classes. But back in the day, draft picks on quarterbacks were simply lottery tickets, and certain stars were never supposed to be the NFL icons we all know and love today. On the flip side, remember when, say, the 2007 draft was supposed to be the home to many future star signal callers? Now's a good time to take a trip down memory lane as we reflect on the 5 best and 5 worst NFL draft classes in history. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. 5 Best 1957. The first great quarterback draft class loaded with elite passers, Pro Bowlers, and pure winners. The class was highlighted by Eagles legend Sonny Jurgensen and Chiefs icon Len Dawson, both enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jurgensen, drafted in the 4th round, was among the elite passers of his era, leading the Eagles to an NFL championship in 1960. The 5-time Pro Bowler led the league in passing 5 times. Dawson, the number 5 pick, led the Chiefs to their first ever Super Bowl championship in the 1969 season. The 6-time AFL All-Star also led that league in passing touchdowns 4 times. Also, there was Jack Kemp, a 17th round pick who won the 1965 AFL MVP while earning 7 All-Star selections. He led the Buffalo Bills to AFL championships in 1964 and 65. John Brody, the number 3 pick of the 49ers, was a 2-time Pro Bowler who led the NFL in passing yards 3 times. He gave the long-time losing 49ers a lot to cheer about well before their 80s dynasty days. And Milt Plum, who the Cleveland Browns took 17th overall, was a 2-time Pro Bowler. 5 Worst 1976. We could have placed the 76 quarterbacks class higher on this list, but quarterbacks weren't sure things in those days, and the whole scouting and film stuff wasn't as in-depth. It's hard to find anything impressive about the 76 class for signal callers, with the exception of Richard Todd. Drafted 6th overall by the New York Jets, Todd enjoyed some success in his decade-long career. He finished with 20,610 career passing yards and 124 touchdowns. Taken within the first 45 picks, Todd was the only quarterback who was a consistent starter in the 76 class. After Todd, Mike Krusick had the second most passing yards, with 1,185 along with 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. 4 Best 1971. None of the signal callers from the 1971 draft made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but there were still some excellent quarterbacks in this class. Jim Plunkett was drafted 1st overall by the Patriots. He was never able to live up to expectations there, but Plunkett revived his career when he joined the Raiders in 1978. He led the Raiders to 2 Super Bowl championships. He also won the 1980 NFL Comeback Player of the Year award, and he finished his career with 25,882 passing yards and 164 touchdowns. Joe Theismann went to the Dolphins in the 4th round but never played a game for them. After playing for the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL, Theismann joined the Redskins in '74. He led them to a Super Bowl XVII championship over the Miami Dolphins. Theismann also won the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year awards in '83, and if he didn't suffer that gruesome career-ending leg fracture in an '85 game against the New York Giants, he could have been a Hall of Famer. Archie Manning, father of Super Bowl champion quarterbacks Peyton and Eli Manning, went 2nd overall to the New Orleans Saints. Though he never got to play on a playoff team, Manning emerged as the franchise face of the Saints, earning Pro Bowl selections in '78 and '79. But Ken Anderson was probably the best QB from this class, drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals in round 3. Anderson logged 32,838 career passing yards and 197 touchdown passes. The 4-time Pro Bowler won the 1981 League MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year awards. His Bengals reached the Super Bowl where they fell to Joe Montana's San Francisco 49ers. Other quarterbacks worth mentioning include Lynn Dickey and Dan Pastorini. The former had 23,322 passing yards and 141 TDs for his career, while Pastorini posted 18,515 yards and 103 touchdowns, and earned a Pro Bowl selection in '75. Number 4 Worst 2002. The Texans chose David Carr 1st overall in 2002. He endured a dreadful 5-year stint in Houston before being released and spending the rest of his career as a backup. The Detroit Lions took Joey Harrington 3rd overall. All he produced in his 4 seasons there was an 18-37 record with 60 touchdowns against 62 interceptions. He barely completed over half his passes. At least the Jacksonville Jaguars got a steal in David Gerard in the 4th round. He had a couple of good seasons and got the Jaguars to the postseason in 2005 and 7, but his numbers weren't exactly eye-popping, and he only went 39 and 37 as a starter. Josh McCown, a career journeyman and backup, was the best quarterback from this class. McCown played on 11 teams in his career and went 23 and 53 as a starter with 17,731 passing yards and 98 touchdowns against 82 interceptions. McCown was a serviceable backup, but QB draft classes aren't supposed to be headlined by serviceable backups. 3. Best 2012. Right now, it looks like the 2012 quarterbacks class will only have one Hall of Famer, but there's a nice list of above average and very good signal callers here. Even though injuries cut his career short, Andrew Luck enjoyed 5.5 productive seasons with the Indianapolis Colts. The 4-time Pro Bowler took Indy to the playoffs 4 times, highlighted by a trip to the 2014 AFC Championship game. If he could have continued, we'd probably be talking about a Super Bowl winning QB and a future Hall of Famer. Number 2 overall pick, Robert Griffin III, was also a major bust. Also marred by injuries, he at least won the 2012 Offensive Rookie of the Year award, while guiding the Washington Redskins to an NFC East crown. The real cream of the crop in this draft is Russell Wilson, whom the Seattle Seahawks got at number 75 overall in round 3. Wilson led Seattle to a Super Bowl championship in his second season, and the Seahawks recorded winning seasons in each of his first 8 years. He's totally going to the Hall of Fame. And despite his constant underperformance in the big game, 102nd overall pick Kirk Cousins has enjoyed some Pro Bowl play. He certainly outperformed his draft position. Nick Foles can't seem to find a steady home, but his legacy was set after he guided the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl 52 championship, winning MVP honors in the process. And Ryan Tannehill has had his moments with the Miami Dolphins, and in his first year with the Tennessee Titans, he earned Comeback Player of the Year honors after guiding them to the AFC Championship game. And let's not forget to give a shout out to Brock Osweiler, who played a big role in the Denver Broncos Super Bowl 50 championship season, while Peyton Manning was dealing with injuries and age. 3. Worst 2013. Most of us knew that the 2013 class was weak for quarterbacks. The scouts warned us. Luckily for E.J. Manuel, the Buffalo Bills were so desperate for a signal caller that they pulled off a serious reach when they took him 16th overall. Manuel was the starter for 10 games in his rookie year before losing the job to Kyle Orton in 2014. The Florida State product made just 17 starts in 4 seasons with the Bills. He served as a backup for the Oakland Raiders in 2017. After signing with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2019, Manuel decided to retire. Geno Smith, who spent the majority of his career as a backup, leads the class in completions and passing yards. For the 2019 season, his total stood at 523 and 6,182 respectively. Mike Glennon, also a career backup, tossed the most touchdowns of this class through 2019 with 36. Matt Barkley, a 4th-round pick of the Eagles, has also spent his career as a clipboard holder. If you're a big backup quarterbacks guy, this was a dream class for you. Number 2, Best 2004. So there isn't as much depth here compared to the other great QB draft classes mentioned, but this is a class with 3 future Hall of Famers. Eli Manning was drafted 1st overall by the San Diego Chargers, but he had no desire to play for them. He was later sent to the New York Giants, who sent number 4 overall pick Phillip Rivers the other way. Manning was also frustrating throughout his career, finishing with a .500 record of 117 and 117, but he also had 57,023 passing yards and 366 touchdowns. And oh yeah, he won 2 Super Bowl championship rings and Super Bowl MVP awards. We'd say he's done more than enough to earn a Hall of Fame induction. Rivers never got to a Super Bowl with the Chargers, but 59,271 yards, 397 touchdowns, 8 Pro Bowl selections, and 6 playoff appearances are no joke. Rivers simply turned a long-time struggling Chargers team into an AFC juggernaut. The best QB of this class, however, is Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben has also crossed 55,000 passing yards and 350 touchdowns mark, and he led the Steelers to a pair of Super Bowl championship rings. 3 Hall of Famers right there, and we'll mention Matt Schaub, a 2-time Pro Bowler who helped the Houston Texans win the AFC South in 2011 and 12. If you ask us, only one quarterback class stands out more than the 2004 squad. Number 2, Worst 2007. The 2007 NFL Draft itself was one of the best ever. Calvin Johnson, Joe Thomas, Patrick Willis, Darrelle Revis, Marshawn Lynch, Adrian Peterson, and Lawrence Timmons were among the many Pro Bowlers to go in the first round. Plenty of studs were taken in the 2nd and 3rd rounds too. This class will send its fair share of players to Canton, but on a more negative note, there won't be much else to remember. Jamarcus Russell went 1st overall to the Oakland Raiders. We all know how that went. The world was shocked when 2006 Heisman finalist Brady Quinn fell to the Cleveland Browns at number 22 overall. but he only managed to win 4 starts in his entire career. The best QB to come out of this class was either Kevin Kolb or Trent Edwards. The former tossed the most passing touchdowns in this 2007 class with 28. Edwards had the most passing yards with 6,033, and his final NFL game took place in the 2012 season. Best 1983. There's no debate 1983 was a dream year for NFL quarterbacks we haven't seen since. The first overall pick made by the Baltimore Colts was John Elway. He refused to play for them and was sent to the Denver Broncos in a blockbuster deal. Number 7 became one of the most prolific players of his era, earning 9 Pro Bowl selections plus the 1987 NFL MVP award. Elway also led the Broncos to consecutive Super Bowl championships to close out his career. He later moved into the front office and built their Super Bowl 50 championship team. But in terms of individual talent, Elway wasn't even the best QB of his class. And Elway is a top 5 to 10 all-time quarterback. Who is the best quarterback from the 83 class? Most people will tell you it's Dan Marino, whom the Miami Dolphins selected at number 27 overall. The best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl led this league in passing yards 5 times, and he captured the 1984 MVP award. Marino also guided Miami to a Super Bowl 19 appearance, where they fell to the 49ers. Marino retired with 61,361 passing yards and 420 touchdowns. If he won a single Super Bowl, everybody would have deemed him as a top 3 quarterback all time. And wait, there's still more. The Buffalo Bills drafted Jim Kelly 14th overall, and he quickly went to work in rebuilding this franchise. The 5-time Pro Bowler and commander of the Bills' revolutionary no-huddle offense guided this team to 4 straight Super Bowl appearances in the 90s, though they lost all 4 games. There you have it. 3 of the top-tier all-time legendary quarterbacks came from one draft class. Even Ken O'Brien, who went 24th overall to the New York Jets, carved out a nice career. The 2-time Pro Bowler earned AFC Player of the Year honors in '85, and he had 25,094 passing yards for his career. Tony Eason, who spent most of his career with the Patriots, had some nice moments as well. This class had depth, but Elway, Marino, and Kelly were really what set this class apart from every other. With all due respect to other great quarterback draft classes, nothing comes close to topping the 83 squad. Number 1 worst, 1996. Well, at least the 96 class in general was something special, and it was the dream year for wide receivers ranging from Terrell Owens to Terry Glenn to Keyshawn Johnson to Marvin Harrison, among others. But quarterbacks, no thanks. There wasn't a single QB taken until the 42nd pick when the Rams selected Tony Banks. Only 3 quarterbacks were picked within the first 3 rounds, and Banks was the only one who saw any real starting time. His career highlight was winning Super Bowl 34 with the Baltimore Ravens as Trent Dilfer's backup. He went 35 and 43 as a starter with 77 career touchdowns and 73 interceptions. Only 3 QBs from this class reached 1,000 passing yards for their careers. Danny Cannell and Bobby Hoegler were the others, and those 2 combined for 37 career starts. Unlike the 2007 quarterbacks class, 96 wasn't filled with any big-time QB draft bust, so there's that. But this still was the least impactful class ever for signal callers. Just stay positive and admire all the NFL legends who came out of the 96 class instead. That's all we can say. Which do you think are the best and worst quarterback draft classes ever? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you like the video, then like the video. We really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time to do that by hitting that subscribe button down below. And last but not least, don't forget to tune in. I almost made it. And last but not least, don't forget to tune in to TPS every single day for more cool videos. We'll see you next time.